When I first came here in the spring of 1965, I was in awe.
There was a buzz around the city that I had never seen as well.
There is something with this park that's magical.
When you walk into the park here, you feel like a baseball player.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to beautiful Labatt Memorial Park.
I bring guys from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Japan, from all over the world, and they always walk into this park and they're like, wow, it's so amazing.
It's just as special in some ways when the fans are in it in a way, which is strange, right?
What a great facility that no other city has, the world's oldest baseball ground.
And it just so happens to be in London, Ontario on Wilson Ave at the forks of the Thames.
When you step on this field those Friday nights, those Sunday afternoons, I'm not only playing for my family name, but I'm playing for the people of the city of London. You know, this jersey on my back represents heritage, it represents history.
Victoria Park, that was the venue in which almost all the city's sports enterprises took place. So the competition for the space and the time for games and practices became so great that the Tecumseh's baseball team got fed up with that situation and looked for another site.
One of the big supporters of the team, a downtown merchant, acquired this low-lying land on the edge of the river just across the Kensington Bridge from downtown. Sports had been played there, corn had been grown there. It was very handy. They had to raise it with road shavings to raise it the level a bit. And they erected Labatt Park, originally called Tecumseh Park, for the Tecumsehs of 1877.
Swings and grounds the foul. Go outside.
Youth, intermediate, professional level baseball, and as time progresses, you start to have women's baseball teams come in and play, like the Supremes.
Even though the Inter-County League, which is the focus of attention now in this park, was established in 1919, London didn't have a representative until 1925.
The Labatt family bought the park when it was in total disarray. They bought it in late December of 1936.
It almost was flooded out and almost destroyed in the 1930s. The Labatt family came in and rescued it.
When the flood happened, there was an intense interest in getting the park back up and running, and that was reported in the newspapers.
And they said there's two conditions. Number one, name it Labatt Memorial Park after a member of the family. And secondly, make sure that it's used in perpetuity by the public for activities. They were very generous about that, and they saved this ballpark.
There's 20 storyboards around the park. All you have to do is walk around and read the storyboards. You'll be shocked at the history and all the things that happened here. I've had players that played here walk around and read the storyboards. They're in awe. They can't believe the history. It's wonderful.
Prior to COVID, we would have people from Minnesota and Michigan come visit and just look around the park and look for things to do. We never were able to offer some programming, and so thankfully for some funding from the province and the work of our London Majors Alumni Association and Friends of Labatt Park, they had all this historic knowledge ready to share, and working with them we were able to make that happen and begin offering tours of the facility. And we also have an application in for National Historic Site right now.
The City of London, because you have to have a municipal government representative and a heritage representative, so it took a long time to sort of create a team and organize all of the facts. It was incredibly worthwhile to understand how the process works, to meet the people who also are locally interested in heritage as well, who are sort of driving this behind the scenes.
Hopefully that's successful, and that'll again help raise the awareness of the park here and the tours that we offer and build that momentum.
If it doesn't become a national historic site, I would be disappointed and shocked. Apparently the other two sports buildings are Maple Leaf Gardens and the Montreal Forum. They're not the oldest hockey rinks in the world. This is the oldest baseball park in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the field, your London Majors!
When you drive up that first game up Riverside Drive from every year, it really does hit home how lucky I have been to announce it. It to me is the most magical ballpark in the world.
The London Majors ball team's always been a family. Probably one of the most tight-knit groups of guys you could always be around.
Majors have been awesome. They'll be practicing or see us out on a tour, and Roop, their coach, will come up to the group and introduce himself and, you know, offer to meet Cleveland and all the other players, and they just have such a phenomenal time.
From the pinstripe uniforms, you know, that's gone back, our logo, you know, our branding. So it means a lot, the history of just the Majors and the Majors playing at Labatt Park.
When I got the chance to come to London to play, it took me about 2 days to realize that London, Ontario was a real place. I'm still thankful for it to this day that Roop gave me the chance to come to London, Ontario and play, and you know what, I've made it my home since then. My first year here was 2010, and you know what, it was a great year. I was happy to come somewhere new and play, and my family was so proud of me, and I ended up leading the league in home runs that year.
The London Majors truly try their best to make every fan feel valued. There's a responsibility that everybody on and off the field feel, not just to the fans, but to the park because of the history within this facility.
We're always so proud of these athletes, and a lot of them will tell you that they couldn't do it without the community in London and the sports community that they have.
Fans get to come on the field after the game, win, lose, draw. You know, if we win 20-0, lose 20-0, they get to come on, and all the guys have to be on the field to sign the autographs. We have probably the biggest fan guy around in Cleveland, Brownlee. You know, you can't hit the ball as far as Cleveland. You can't do some things Cleveland does with a bat, but you can sign autographs, you can talk to the fans, you can interact with them.
I can have the worst game possible, but if you go back and look, I'm the first one out here when it's time to sign autographs. I give a high five after I strike out, and for those young kids, you know, I want to teach them, hey, you can't hit every ball over the fence. You're not going to make every play, but as long as you give it your all and put a smile on your face, you know, we're fortunate. Like I say, London, it had been, I believe, almost 40-something years before our last championship here. We had that goal in mind that we knew that we wanted to bring a championship home, and this was the year to do it.
The excitement within the crowd, the jubilation, seeing Roop and Scott able to finally see something out of all those years of hard work, it meant so much to everybody.
That ninth inning when we had the guy up to bat and that strike three went over the plate.
Everything just seemed to slow down, and you can kind of, you know, from looking at the fans to, you know, the dugout to our, you know, our support staff.
I stood there. I didn't move. I saw everybody running. My body didn't allow me to run. And you know, if you go back and watch the film, you'll see that fans made it to the mound before I made it to the mound.
I like coming here about 6:30 or 7 in the morning when all the work crew gets here to open up the park, and I sit in the grandstands behind home plate, and I just like to watch the sun rise up over the buildings in center field here, see the dew on the grass. It's unbelievable how quiet it is here. That's the moment I like the best. And it makes me think about when the fans are here and you're playing. I sort of reminisce about all the cheers, but it's so quiet. All those things come to my mind when I come here.
I can sit behind in the grandstand behind home plate and watch the grass grow. I get goosebumps just saying it now. The city parks guys, the guys that maintain this field, it's an absolute treasure, you know, that we have here in London. Their crew here, they do a great job.
Labatt Memorial Park's my favorite place in the whole world.
It's everything that makes this park, from the people that came before us, you know, that played here, to the birds, to the, you know, Thames River in the background, the city skyline in the background, you know, all leads to that magical mystique of the park.
We have the best fan base, and you know what, we have the best everything around Labatt Park, and you know, you come here, you just want to play your best and give it your all. It's just that atmosphere that Labatt Park has. It's a different aura than anywhere else I've ever played.
you.